you, and you've got Tommy now going into nutrition. I've spoken with him, right? I have given him a list of names to really pester with this as well. So he is going to be on your ass as well, and I'm going to remind him today. So if you cannot explain properly how much amino acids are in essential proteins, like meat, that's something basic, right? If you can't, because if you ask anyone, you walk on the street and go, what protein does? It builds muscle. If they come in here and you give the exact same thing without teaching them more, you haven't really taught them anything. It's like they'll be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right? I know this. So you need to understand the ins and outs of these things, and you will need to go hard in studying and asking questions to myself, Tommy, and others that do understand it, right? So you have better reasoning. So you have better conviction when you're saying things in the session, right? One thing I have found when people drop off, they're like, yeah, I was happy, it was good sessions. I'm like, well, why did you drop off? But it means they didn't get enough value out of the coaching. Sessions are fine, but there's a difference between being a very good trainer and a very good coach, right? Is that working, Chris? Yeah. That's on? So in that session, every little detail on that program, you need to have very big conviction of what you think it is. Now, it may be right, it may be wrong, it may be in the middle where it's like, yeah, now that's good enough reasoning, right? But you have to have enough conviction when you're writing these things to be like, they are eating YoPro Meal 2 because they enjoy it and it helps them with their quick day. Or they get a protein shake in there, it helps them with their quick day. And it hits their protein target, all right? They're having 30 grams of protein per meal because it helps protein synthesis, right? There's not one where it's lower. Every little detail, the more you go into this, and you sit down with them and you explain it. You open up that nutrition plan and you go, we are eating protein in this meal, carbs here because of this. We are eating carbohydrates post-workout because that's when the insulin response is better. That's where we're going to use carbs better, right? You'll get better recovery and better performance, better results. That's why we're doing this, okay? The people, I'll use myself an example here because I can use Tommy as well, that come to us and stay for a long time, right, is because we are chapters ahead of them. Not one, not two, we are chapters ahead of them, all right? If you want to have better retention, you must be chapters ahead of whoever's coming into you. You must understand more about water than them, protein than them, fats than them, carbs, sodium, right? You got to be way more ahead than them so you can actually teach them. Otherwise, they'll come in here and they'll question the nutrition, right? They will, and go, oh, I'll follow it. And then they'll go, cool, it's just the workout. Just the workout, right? So what I'm going to be sitting in here, like I said, no different than I did yesterday with Dana and that, I'm going to be overhearing how you check in with clients. I'm going to be overhearing how you're explaining things. Not just, how's this week gone? No, we're doing this because of this. I want to hear the reasoning, right? And I'll be testing you on the reasoning as well. And then I'll know, there's a common thing. I found those with the highest retention have the best reasoning. I have. Like if I ask Tommy what protein is, and I'll ask someone who doesn't have the highest retention, there's a clear difference, right? So it correlates with that, okay? So when you're down with clients, the details are really going to matter, all right? Now, let's start this. I'm just curious to see. Bailey, when you start with nutrition, what do you look for first?
When making a plan?
Yes.
For the plan itself or for them?
Susie comes to you. She's 100 kilos. She wants to lose 30 kilos. Yep. Right. What are the first two things you make sure?
Well, I speak on what they're eating now so I can try and fit their lifestyle.
Good. To make it consistent, compliant. Boom. All right. Then when constructing a plan, you're looking at a lifestyle, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Then when you're explaining things to the client, when they sit down next time with the philosophy of food, right? Philosophy is an amazing thing, right? It helps change beliefs, keeps on the path, right? And this is what we got to improve. With the philosophy of food, what are you explaining to them? What are your philosophies of food?
Food is fuel.
Cool. But it may not be Susie's.
Oh, food is fuel no matter who it is, right?
No.
You need food for fuel.
No, that's your label of food.
Well, any food is fuel. You need food.
No, that's your label of food.
Susie doesn't believe that or know that.
Susie could be an emotional eater.
No, you want to be able to. So, correct. You want to teach her, correct? Teach her. But this is what people have, if I say something, a label, right, of even money, you might have a different description. I'll say what's money to you, I'll have a different description of money. That's the label and what you associate with it.
Yeah.
So if you go in here with the mindset of everyone's fuel, right, which it does fuel us,
Okay, yeah, okay.
right? But you will need to reframe how she thinks of things.
Okay.
All right? Now, what I do recommend is this, right? As our philosophy. Our philosophy is food that's going to be consistent and compliant towards achieving your goals and also keeping you healthy. Right? Consistent, compliant, so you can achieve your goals while also being healthy. All right? That's our philosophy. Now, with that, we do recommend that you eat foods, that come from the earth, that are fished, gathered, plucked. Simple as that. Fish gathered and plucked. 80% of our diet, I do recommend we do that. Reason for, why is that?
Whole foods? Quality of food's better?
Quality of food's better, but why else? This will be what you have to explain to the client so they get reframed.
Yeah, okay. Why are whole foods better?
Well, yeah, why would we recommend you eat foods that are fish gathered and plucked?
Because they're the healthier option, of course.
So to help your health,
And
correct.
help you towards your goal.
Help you towards your goal, correct. Now, this is where they're going to be like, yeah, cool, I've heard this. All right, cool. Now, most of the foods we recommend are like that, right? Now, Susie, the way you've been eating, has it helped you lose 30 kilos? No. All right, oh shit, what I've been doing doesn't work. What I believe doesn't work. All right, my goal is to teach you how to still eat whole foods, so we've got the health benefits there, because we know we need those foods to be healthy, right? Yeah. And then two, I'm going to teach you how to do this as a lifestyle as well, where we can still get flexible choices in, right? And teach you how to do that, so you can have more consistency in the long term, instead of just 13 weeks, right? This is what you got to sit down and explain with them in the sessions. So then they've got a long-term view, because what you may do is go, all right, in the first 13 weeks, you're going to do a meal plan to teach them what whole foods are, right? And add a few flexibles in. And then in the next package, you can say, cool, then I'm going to teach you how to use macros and tracking. So then you can do this consistent long-term. Then in their head, they're like, okay, he's got a goal with nutrition for me. First phase, he's going to teach me how to eat healthy, which is good. I'm motivated, I'm ready to go. And then he's going to teach me how to be more flexible and hit targets so I can do this even when he's not there. There's 6 months of them being with you. Better than, all right, yeah, how'd you go with your nutrition? And not explaining the reasons or why you're doing things. So my point is, it's great to know the targets and that's all there. That's the easy part, to be honest. The easiest part is that part. The hardest part is explaining to the client and being upfront and honest with them of your goal. That's harder when you're not confident if you know what you're doing with them. So I would recommend you start planting seeds of, and it really does help them, because otherwise they go through and think, Bailey's just going to have me stuck on a meal plan forever if I be here. And that doesn't interest me, and So I'd recommend having those discussions in that conversation of, look, we recommend foods that are fish gathered and plucked, most that you eat, right? And we can still flavor them up. We got recipes and whatnot, and we can get meal prep to help if time's an issue. And then, 20% is where we do a more flexible approach, all right? And then my goal for you, Susie, I'm going to teach you how to eat healthy, right? Because we're motivated, we're going to get some goals. And then you're going to understand and have an idea of how to weigh foods and measure foods and portion foods. And then in the next phase, I'm going to teach you how to use macros so you can do this without me. Your goal is to teach them how to do it without you, right? And to be honest, as funny as that sounds, the more you teach them to do it without you, the more they stay. That's what happens. That's what I do. I guarantee if I explain the definition of mini cut to Jason, out of you guys, he probably would have a better definition than most of you. Because I've sat down and discussed how to do it and what to do or every little detail, whereas you guys haven't done it as much, right? And I need to. But my point is, my clients know a lot. Leah knows a lot, Chloe knows a lot, Jason knows a lot, because I've taught them to that point. Chloe was on a meal plan, Leah was on a meal plan, now they're all macros. I've taught Jason for ages. I teach them. You see what I'm saying? I teach them. So I'm not just a trainer, I actually coach. And I'm always learning, so I'm always ahead. So guess what? There's always more stuff to teach. It's not like I'm here and then don't learn anything. I keep going and they keep going, right? So you got to think how you can level up this person. So if you have Susie come in, she believes in the food pyramid, carbs, or she believes in a certain shake diet, and then at the end of 6 months, she's now tracking on macros, she can train properly and stuff like that, you have changed her trajectory forward, right? Massively. So it's all going to come down to you in coaching in that first session. I haven't talked too much on macros yet. I haven't talked about supplements yet. The biggest thing is going to be in that the way you get them to follow the path, right? And find out what that rock is. So in the sessions, what I recommend, I'm going to be over listening. It's not just how to go this week. When you have a new program or you make changes, sit down with them and go, cool, I have done ABC because of X, Y, and Z, and this is going to help you do this. And then in the long term, it's going to help you do this. You know, so it might be cool. It's going to help you for now lose, I'm aiming to lose, half a kilo of weight, body fat, whatever. But in the long term, you're going to understand that, you can add some foods in or take some away and it will do this, So I would start in the first session really, once again, thinking long term. All right, because in some of the questions on the onboarding, it's like, where do you see yourself in 6 months? And then actually going, cool, this is what we're going to do in 13 weeks with training. This is what we're going to do with nutrition. And then after this meal plan, I don't want you to be on meal plan forever because our philosophy is that we want to be consistent and compliant. I don't think that'll help you be like that. So then we're going to learn how to do macros in the next phase. That sounds cool? Because then you can do this forever without me. Right? If you listen to how I talk, it has conviction because I know it works. All right? So that's the language that I need to be hearing from you guys to know that you're actually being coaches and not just trainers. Yeah? And then, like I said, I can measure the metrics and then the proof will be in the pudding, especially when that changes. All right? So biggest takeaways I want you to remember is consistency and compliancy out of this talk and language in how you're talking to clients with changes you make. All right? They're huge. I can't even explain how big they are. All right? More conviction, more confidence you have that, better you're going to get. And if I pull up programs and I go, cool, why are you doing this? Why do you have this? You must have conviction and confidence behind what you're saying. And I know everyone's at a different level. I don't expect you to be up here, but I expect you to progress up to there, right? And you must have reasoning for every little detail you have in that plan. Don't just put it in. There has to be a reason for the type of food, quality of food, whether it's flexible, whether it's whole foods. There must be a greater reasoning behind why that is there and how that helps. All right? So that's the conversation to be had. Right, now, Josh, what's our philosophy on nutrition?
The conviction one, is that what you're talking about?
What are the two important things?
Consistency, compliance.
Yes, good man, good man. Consistency and compliancy. Now, 80% of our nutrition, or most of our nutrition, how do we want to get that in?
Whole foods.
Good, which are?
Fished, planted, whatever. Yeah.
Hunted, fished, gathered, plucked.
Yeah.
Right? Whole foods. But does everyone enjoy just eating chicken and broccoli?
No.
No, they don't. So, and you can say that. But I understand not everyone enjoys chicken and broccoli, right? So we also want to have a layer of flexibility in there. Reason for that is because that'll keep you long term, being consistent, right? And then you say that in the session, when you first do their program or after their first onboarding, they come in, you say that to them, and you go, my goal is to teach you how to eat healthy, but also enjoy it, right? And then, after this phase, if we're kicking goals and I'm confident, I'm going to then level you up to the next level, which is where our most successful clients get to, that you see the transformations with, where they understand how to, calculate macros. So you can do this without me. And when I first was coaching, I used to say that. I used to sit down and say, I'm going to give you so much of what I know so you can do this without me. That's literally what I would say. And like I said, people stayed, right? So I would literally use that language. I'd recommend to, and you will. I wouldn't just say recommend because I'm going to be overhearing things.
Yeah, with my onboarding, I actually use it.
Perfect, right? Because then they're going, wow, this is pretty big, right? So because you care. You're going to teach them everything you know, and they're like, wow, he just doesn't want to force me to be here. He's like, actually cares for what happens afterwards as well, and they remember that. So consistency, compliancy, yes, for health benefits, foods that are fish gathered and plucked and hunted, But then I also want to teach you a flexibility layer or a social layer where you can go eat foods you enjoy, go out, drink alcohol if you want, and still get results. You know, so we're going to cover those details over time as well. But the language in what you say in those sessions is super, super important. Dana, phone down. No phones. Come on. Huh? No, it doesn't matter. We're a meeting. You can't do that. No excuses. Like I said, I'm going to be much, much, much harder. This is why your attention is not at 90%. 100%. 100%. At seminars and stuff, I would never look at my phone. I'd put my phone on airplane mode. All right, I told you I'm going to be much harder. Because what's happening is, what will happen is you will get left behind. It's simple as that. Team's growing, we're expanding. If your retention's not up, you will get left behind. It's simple. And what I mean by that is, and it's to be honest, there's so much support here, it'll be on you to action things, right? It'll be on you to action things. And you've got killers. So you'll have, like Ethan's a killer. You'll have killers that will want to be the best. And when you have someone who's paying attention versus someone who's messaging, that's someone who's paying attention wants to be the best. Yeah, it's no different than you doing a training session, working out and looking at your phone and scrolling through Facebook versus someone who's working out hard and not focused on that. Same thing. There's always going to be a winner. It's just how it is. Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to be harder on stuff like this because it will make you better. You want senior? Seniors don't do that. Yeah? Sounds cool? With your best interest in mind, Donna. Yeah. So yeah, with these things, I wouldn't, unless there's an emergency with a client or let me know first, I would recommend. So for future things and meetings, let me know. Because then we only have an hour. It's not long. Yeah. This is what I've put away to give you guys as much as I can, as well as being on the floor. So we want to make the most out of it. And like I said, the standards just got to come up. All right. So biggest takeaway for you?
Biggest takeaway would just not to sit down with the client and be like, okay, so how'd you go this week with nutrition? But to actually like make sure to give them more knowledge with nutrition and why they're eating the foods they're eating and why they're having like carbs after their workout, so they just have more knowledge with
Good.
their foods.
Fantastic. You are one, I really like how you talk to clients, like how you talk to Marie. So this layer, honestly, for you, I believe would be a game changer for you. As in, because I feel you have a bit of confidence with it, because you know how to track calories and macros and stuff like that. So for you to talk to a client, I know with you, and say, cool, this is what we're going to do in 13 weeks, right? This is my goal, to teach you everything with this part. And then I'm going to teach you how to track macros and calories so you can have more flexibility in the long term. That sounds cool, because you want goals after this, right? You want to keep getting results. You don't want to just do a 13 weeks and drop off, right? And they go, yeah. You, I would be most with pressed in terms of you picking that up quick. Yeah, and setting that journey up with them, right? So yeah, and because of the way you do well talking in check-ins, like I heard yesterday and I heard today. And that I keep saying it, the check-in time is the most powerful time of the session. Right. The check-in time is the most powerful time in the session. Right. This will dictate, amongst other things, but I would say one of the most things dictate if you keep or lose clients. For how you make decisions, make changes, and also your language with them in that time of being a coach. Yeah. Because they're looking for direction. All right. If you say anything you're going to do as well in that check-in session, like you say, I'm going to add in a new sheet, I'm going to make a change, make sure you do it. Don't just say it and not do it as well. I'll say that as well. Super important. All right. That time is so important. You get your measurements. They're there to get a result, not a training session. Some clients will come in and want workouts where you have to give them wins to wins workout. We talked about that yesterday. But that's not enough to keep clients. Right? You need to be getting results. Simple as that. And you need to be, honestly, a figure they look to, that they respect, and that they also know that you have their best interest in mind. All right? Super, super important, right? And it's a maturity thing. I told you, some clients of mine would say I'm their dad. They called me dad when they would come in, and they're 50 years old. They're almost double my age. But they called me dad when I was 27, right? because of the way I talked, actioned, and because I had a high degree of disagreeableness. This is another thing as well. Bailey, this will help you, this part. Disagreeableness. You know, I was like, you were like, skip check-in? Yeah, I was like, no. That's what I mean by disagreeableness, right? So I found a correlation between, and I've talked to others as well, that very good trainers have a high degree of disagreeableness. Now, I will use Casey as an example because she does have the highest retention and she does have the highest degree of disagreeableness, right? And what I mean by that is you would never do this, and I got up Casey for this. A client came in, didn't do what she said, and she said, we're not training. And the client cried because Casey didn't, she's like, no, you didn't do what I've said. I've told you millions of times, we're not training. And she threatened her with that the week before. Now, I don't recommend to go that far, and we solved it because Casey did go too far, right? But the reason she is very high is because, yes, on the outside she's on it, but she'll sit down with clients, and if she sees one thing as a glimp in the check-ins or that, she's like, no, you got to be on it. Clients will come in here and be like, oh, it's okay, I had a social thing and I did this, and no. I have your best interest in mind. You came to me a few weeks ago saying you want to do this because you felt shit. I don't want you to feel shit again, so this is what you need to do. I don't want you to get on the stage again, feel small, when I had the power to make you look big. Yeah? Yeah, because there was a time you felt awesome in the first one, and there was a time you felt small in the next one, and out hustled. I am not going to let that happen if you're with me. Yeah? What coach do you want? The one that goes, oh yeah, no issues. Easy, man. It's all right. Pick it up 2 weeks next week. Or do you want the coach that goes, fuck that. You're not getting smaller the next time we go on the stage. And no, you're not going to skip this check-in. Because every fucking day counts. Yeah? You know why? Because I've been coaches with that. Rawdon's like that. Rawdon's fucking way worse than that. You don't fill something out, he'll be like, fucking boom, you're gone. Right? Once again, not that far I would recommend for the clients we deal with, but you need to have a high degree of disagreeableness with things that come across. Yep. So when you're sitting down with clients, there's a point we're going too far, where Casey did, and you've got to find that happy medium, and you've got to know who you're talking to. That's the art of coaching. Is that out, is it? No, that's right. Well, no, it is out. No, it's not 1 o'clock. So yeah, I would highly recommend that too, right, with this. So, Jordan, biggest takeaways for you, quick.
Be the expert in the room and to really pick on those details and don't let anyone get away with shit.
Good. Name one thing of Whole Foods that we teach in our philosophy. Well, what are the 2 C's?
Compliance, consistency.
Good. Name one of the Whole Foods, not flexible Whole Foods thing, that type of food that we can have.
Like just name Whole Foods.
Yeah, no, as in,
Gathered.
good. What's the 2 C's?
Consistency.
Good. What's another? You say gathered. What's another one?
Plush.
Good. Consistency, compliancy.
Yeah.
Think of your Whole Foods. We got gathered, berries, fruit.
No,
Fish,
don't count
fish.
them.
Good. C's.
Consistency and compliance.
No one.
Hunted.
Good. C's.
Consistency and compliance.
Name. We've already gone through it, but just name one. Actually, how much percentage needs to be Whole Foods? You would recommend?
How much percentage?
Yeah, Whole Foods. I know you know. Don't say it. I can see you urging. I can feel it. I can feel like, fucking hell. I heard you in the whisper of your voice. 10%, 20%, 30%. What would you say? 5 seconds. Throw a number. You have to throw a number. 4, 3, 2.
30.
No. Higher.
Higher.
Much higher. Whole Foods.
Oh, Whole Foods.
Yes. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Throw another number. Quick, 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 quick. Just throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it. It's a high number. It's not 100.
60.
No. 80%, 80%, 80%. Think most of the foods you look at needs to be Whole Foods on the table, and then a little bit flexible. So if someone has here with all foods, you know, there's all the fish gathered and plucked and recipes and that, but then a bit can be flexible, yeah? All right, Journey, tell me. I'm Susie. No, you don't tell me. You don't tell me. I know you'll do it. I know you'll be fine.
Susie.
Josh, I'm Susie.
Susie.
I'm Susie. Get your laptop out. Okay. Nutrition plan. Just tell me the rough goal. I want to lose weight. What's the rough goal of 12 weeks with you? And then tell me what's after that. Go. Don't have to go through the details. Just tell me the thought process.
First 12 weeks, gonna give you a meal plan. So, and then through that meal plan, I'm gonna teach you how to track calories through macros. So you can do it when you're without me.
All right, cool. Wait. Jordan, go.
So the first 12 weeks, I'm going to give you a rigid meal plan. You're going to eat to the point. I'm going to set your macros and give you what foods to eat. We're going to get the ball rolling, and if you do well, you can apply consistent. In the second phase, I'm going to give you more of a macros approach, where I'm going to teach you to be a bit more flexible and maintain that as a lifestyle, and so you can do it without me.
Cool. So yeah, think when they first come in, now you may have some clients that are ready for macros, some that are not. You may have clients that need a meal plan, but it's like, I'm going to teach you how to eat healthy, enjoy it, right? We've got recipes in there you can use, and still get results. But then I don't want you to feel restricted on a meal plan, right? Because you'll hate me for that, right? And then after the 12 weeks, my goal, as long as we're ticking boxes, because I want you to be able to do this without me, is teach you how to use macros, right? Because it comes down to energy balance, which is in versus out. And I want to teach you how to do this without me so you can have goals and achieve goals long term with your body comp. Sounds cool? Perfect. But then you've set up 6 months with them being with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't do it all in one, especially if you have a client that needs to learn it. Yeah? And then it's very beneficial for them to do that as well. All right. You need to set nutrition goals, not just training goals. You periodize training, you periodize nutrition. The nutrition must match training at times, but you need to periodize nutrition. And it's called nutrition literacy, right? Nutrition literacy is your knowledge of and awareness of like food you eat and understand what it does, right? So you want to teach them why they're eating chicken or why they're doing this, and then having a goal for them as well in the long term with it. All right, so that's the language to use. Okay, Bailey, let's go. You got me. Susie, 30 kilos. I've got to lose.
30 kilos. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
Yeah, got to go up.
I'd go, so first 13 weeks, we're going to be on a plan, macro suited to your lifestyle and to your goals. And then, the plan would be after the 13 weeks, would then to go over macros and macronutrients, so then have the understanding of how to track
Pause. You already said macros.
Huh?
You already said macros in the first plan, so we're going to do the same thing in the second one.
Nutrition plan.
Yes,
first,
good.
And then teach about macros.
Wait, slow down. Take a big breath. Talk slow to me. Go. No, go.
Okay, the first
Slow.
13 weeks,
Yes.
we're going to have a nutrition plan. That you're going to have plans with times suited for you.
Good.
And then after the 13 weeks, we're going to have macros, and then teach you how to then track food, and then so then you'll know how to do everything without me.
I want you to slow down.
In a group, I'm not slow. One-to-one, I'm not like that.
No, that's all right. I just want you to slow down
Yeah, okay.
because you'll think better instead of just saying things.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious.
No, in a group.
You dominated that when you slowed down. Yeah? So I want you to think before you say. If you notice very, very smart, successful people, they will talk. See how my eyes are going? Right, I'm being serious. I just noticed it then too. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest, most successful people, but I'm thinking of what I'm saying before I say it. Okay? They will go like this. They'll talk, stop, pause, think, and then say.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying. Yeah? This is communication and language. Right? You'll notice with very good mentors and that, when they talk, they'll think and then say. Think and then say. Charles used to be like this, Poliquin. He was like the slowest walker and the slowest talker, like that. And pauses, big pauses in between things to get across properly what he's saying. Because you've got to think what you're saying needs to go in their head. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Right? So that last part was fantastic. Right? So yes, I want to teach you how to do whole foods. So you get your goals, we achieve, the body composition of the goals we're looking for, but then you understand and you're aware of what you need to eat to achieve these goals, right? Then my goal is to, in the next block, right? My goal is to keep you forever because I know I can keep giving you value forever, right? Like I said, I know I can keep getting you bigger and leaner forever, bigger, leaner forever, bigger, leaner forever, right? Get to 100 kilos bigger and leaner.